Welcome back to Lineout Lab. My name is Peter O'Donnell. Last week I hosted a workshop on the red zone, which you can click in the description to watch back if you wish, where I went through a number of clips for discussion with the group of coaches that joined me, which we talked through after I presented those clips. And I'm going to go through just a couple of examples over these next couple of videos of things that you can do or things to consider with your red zone defence this year. So the first strategy or thing to consider is whether you compete or stay down. And I think over the last couple of years, we've seen defences being generally a lot more aggressive and getting up in the air in the red zone or in this sort of area. But I think that's going to continue to increase in terms of a trend. But the other thing then is if you stay down. And the first thing we're going to look at is Australia here in this clip here. So we're going to see a six-man, Ireland win the ball in the middle back, and they're not able to generate a huge amount of punch or go forward. They lose a couple of players and nothing much comes from it. But if we watch it again, what I want you to notice is the pressure on the front lifter in particular and the front wall. So as Ireland win the ball, what we'll see is a reasonably good picture. I like the fact that the front lifter is kind of trying to get a visual on the defence and seeing what they're doing. So what Australia do is they actually get the timing pretty spot on. I think you'd be pretty happy with it in terms of they're going to hit that front wall just before the jumper comes to ground. So as you roll it on slowly here, keep your eyes on red scrum cap for Australia and the front lifter, and you can see that he's taking heat and impact there just before the jumper's feet hit the ground. And what's good about this from a defensive perspective is the timing is so minuscule, like I think it's so marginal I should say, that most referees probably wouldn't see that, which then opens up another debate in terms of where you sit on on the laws and bending the laws, breaking the laws, interpretation and whatnot. But from a defensive perspective, the way the game is, that's probably what a lot of coaches are saying, is to try and get your timing just before the jumper hits the ground. So in this case, it's pretty good timing if you're on that side of the fence. So let's just play it on here. So the front lift is under pressure, and it's very hard for Ireland, because they kind of get broken at the back as well. It's very hard for Ireland to generate real go forward and get around the corner from Australia. So that's the first thing. Now, to be fair, I don't think this is anything new. I think this is something that has been around for a long time, but I think it'll certainly bring into more focus that you have to get your timing absolutely spot on if you're staying down. So the next clip is also from the same game, same defense, same attack. Let's play it through and have a look. So we'll see Ireland win the ball in a similar field position or similar area, middle back. And what they do really well is they break up that front wall, which again, I don't think is alien to the new laws or anything like that. I think that's probably something defences would be doing anyway. And again, I think it's going to only bring it into focus just how, if you're staying down in particular, you really have to break up that front wall as quickly as possible. So let's look at it again. And again, let's look for the timing on the front lift, or the front wall, I should say. So Ireland do a nice turn movement, win the ball, and again, keep your eyes on green 5 and the time that he gets hit at. So he's got shoulders on there and the jumper hasn't got to ground. So it does look like here that potentially Ireland were maybe looking at, in terms of their slots here, in terms of the maul, that maybe does green 1 get his slot wrong or his detail wrong perhaps, or were they just trying to it looks like they might have been trying to overload the open side, but there's quite a big gap here on the left of the ripper and the +1, which is fine, but because the timing is good from Australia, if you're on that wavelength, because the timing is quite good, it really impacts that the ability to keep your front wall together, but also the impact of the +1 to get a clean rip and transition then. So regardless of where green 1 was going, the defence have done a pretty good job to unsettle that. The next thing they do is they get into the seam and they take out that front lift. So we see front lift is under pressure. They get a bit of a leg as well. for a split second. Sometimes that's all you need. Now, usually you'd be saying, and in fact James Ryan does pretty well, he takes out 3 people here or 2 people here. Usually that's what you'd be saying from an attack perspective, is to try and, if you get taken out, try and take minimum, 2 with you. Which in fairness he does. But because Australia have put the back edge under pressure too, they're not able to get any good go forward. The other thing as well is that what I like about Australia is that they're looking to regenerate and get back in the game as quick as they can. So even though they're out of the game, because of the field position, they're looking to get back up on their knees or back up off the ground and get back in the game. So really, I suppose, smart by Australia. And just on that, I think generally with the maul, what you have to do really well is if you do get taken out, you have to regenerate really well. And what I like is I'm going to go back to the first clip and just look at this aspect here from Australia and how quickly they regenerate. So once you're out of the game, you've got to look to get back and make an impact thereafter. So we can see here gold 5 looking to get back in the game and make an impact. We can see again here looking to regenerate. So if you do get taken out, you've got to be looking to get back and be effective as quick as possible. So I think it could potentially be a longer maul potentially for you if you get spat at the side or because you can't come in from the side and whatnot. So it's really important that you regenerate with urgency. So that's the first, I suppose, part or sequence I'm going to look at with terms of the new law and the red zone in particular. Yeah, stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.